What is up, people of the internet? All sorts of freedom explorer once again here, and this time I'm going to do a bit of a longer video, and this video is about how to deal with depression. So, as a person who works with, first of all, works with people who deal with depression, and I have personally been depressed in my life. I have, quite the credentials, so to speak, to let's say address this topic. And at one point in my life, I was just driving by myself with my car. I was on a highway. There was no traffic, etc. And I was in a bit of a dark place, let's put it that way. And the thought crept into my mind, like, should I just drive off this road? And I know it's a very serious topic in a way, but right now, looking back at that transformation and the place where I was at the time, in that very negative place, and now being in this, let's say, more higher and a better space, I can look back at that moment in time with a little bit of dark humor, let's put it that way. So obviously you don't want to hurt anybody else, but like, if you drive your car off the road, um, it won't hurt anybody but you. So I was at that dark place at that time, and it was a bit of a difficult journey from that point onwards to where I'm now. And I wanted to share one really good tip. I'll call it a tip, but it's I would say it's more than that. And I want to start off with from, let's say, the beginning. And our society currently, a lot of our society, a lot of the voices, a lot of the mainstream voices, everything tells us to be happy all the time, or it is possible to be happy all the time. Now, but like 99, 95, I don't know what the percentage is, but a lot of people aren't happy all the time because it's not normal to be happy all the time, because our emotional lives are very much up and down. They go up, they go down, they are in the middle here as well. So this is the normal, natural kind of let's put it, natural emotional life of a human being. It's up and down, and that's fine, and that's okay, and that it should be okay. But currently in our society, it's not that okay, unfortunately. So I'll rephrase it or reframe it once again. So everybody from the outside is telling you, the individual in this society, like, you should feel this way, you should feel this, you should be this way, and you should act this way. But internally, you are feeling, maybe you're feeling down at the moment. You're maybe going through a rough patch. You're going through a little bit of a difficult spot in your life, and you're not feeling that at all. So what starts to happen even more is I start to internalize, as a person, I start to internalize that and start to think that I'm wrong because I'm not feeling like everybody else is feeling, and like everybody else is telling me I'm supposed to feel like. Now, that will lead to even more and more darker thoughts. We can say even more deeper, darker depression as well. So unfortunately, this is a bit of a deep cycle we're in as human beings. But so what can we actually do about this? Because what starts to happen when we're depressed or feeling down or negative, the first thing is we want to get away from it. Again, why do we want to do all these practices, do this meditation, psychology, therapy, whatever? These are all good things. But the first idea for us is always, how can I get away from feeling this bad or this down or this low? Again, the reason is because everybody else is saying you should feel like this, you should be like this, you should act like this, you should only feel good. Or it is even some higher kind of like spiritualized standard that we're setting for ourselves, that I only should feel good all the time. And now when I'm not feeling good, my brain remembers I should feel good all the time. And now I run away and start to, let's say, do all these practices, do whatever it is that I can to get away from my depression. Now, short term, it can work. Short term, definitely, it can work for tiny bits and pieces of moments in time. But long term, these deeper feelings, these deeper let's say, the deeper low is still there and it won't really go anywhere. You're just putting up bandages on that very negative sense of being and feeling. And this is completely normal as well. It's okay if you're in that situation, and I just want to tell you that you're not doing anything wrong if you're doing that, or you're not wrong as a human being. You're it's definitely fine. It's definitely normal. It's definitely okay if you find yourself in that situation. But what can be, let's say, another solution to this? So one of the reasons why maybe even stay so long in those lower places, or even in these long patterns of being very low, is we resist it. We resist it so much. Like I said, we start to do all these weird things to get away from feeling like that, because everybody else tells us we're wrong. Now, what can we do the other way that could work even better? We can just accept that we're depressed. So this is one of the best things to actually do in the moment. If you are feeling depressed, if somebody has maybe diagnosed you or whatever it is, the most important thing is always, I'm feeling depressed. I have these feelings. I have these thoughts in my mind and brain and consciousness. I'm having these ideas. So the first thing is to accept, I'm depressed right now. That's okay. And I think the key here is, guys, that's okay as well. So who actually said to you, I'll point out the question to you. Who actually said to you that it's not okay to be depressed in your life for a while? Do you remember? Do you actually remember? Do you know? Because why are you giving these people, why are you giving these outside voices such an authority that you can't be depressed, that you can't actually feel like you're feeling in life? And I want you to actually say, or I actually want to say to you that it's actually totally fine to be depressed for moments in your life. Remember, this all passes, these emotions, these thoughts, these lows and highs and lows, these constantly happen in our lives. This is natural for a human being. This happens. And I think that the biggest case here is it's that we've made it so wrong to feel like this, that we made it so wrong not to have purpose, not to have meaning, not to have anything in our lives that makes us happy, because that's what depression, or a lot of depression, really is. Like, nothing makes us happy, nothing makes us feel good, nothing makes sense, everything seems pointless, dark, and we want to, like in my example, we want to just drive the car off the road. But so the key, guys, is to accept it and to understand that it's okay. It's almost like a natural cycle. It's a natural cycle to be in, and someday it will pass, and you will feel purpose, and you will get. Again, I want to just say, going to therapy, going to all these spiritual things, doing spiritual practice, etc. These things are all good, but let's not just run away from our depression if we're depressed. Let's be depressed for a little while if we are actually depressed, and then come out of it by, starting to gradually find meaning in practices and find meaning in relationships again. Guys, I hope this let's say, a small little tip works for you and helps you understand. And remember, the most important thing is really okay to feel like this. Whatever it is that you're feeling or experiencing right now is okay. And the biggest reason you're suffering is that you're running away from your depression. Be depressed for a while. It's okay. And then something else will come in its place. Thanks, guys.